Knock, knock, everybody. Can everybody hear me this week, month, year, whatever? The Nelly Meister has once again arrived. And here I am. Press the button. Hello. Greetings, everybody. Is anybody there? Doesn't look like it. If you're here, come and say hello. Don't really know what to say. There's usually somebody about by now. Hello? Anybody home? Well, I think I'll just ramble on for a little while everybody starts turning up. So, I actually don't know what I was going to talk about this month. I've forgotten. But since the events of last weekend, I've completely changed everything that I was going to do anyway. So we're basically going to talk about what happens or what we can do when those unexpected and unfortunate events happen upon us, and how we can actually get through them more easily, if there is a way. So, there's still nobody here. How very strange. Well, I'll ramble on for a few minutes and see if anybody turns up. But there's nobody on the counter of viewers. So I'm wondering if there's a problem or an issue or something happening. I wonder. Well, we can't see you. Okay, something's going wrong again. Camera's on. I'm not getting any comments or anything. Let me try and do this. There you are. How's that? Am I on? Yep, everybody's in. Oh, that's better. Oh well. Need to take the cover picture. Yes, I've done that. Everything's good. We're all good. Morning, everybody. And there's Neshi. I'm going to bring her up. Done that. Everything's good.
Hello.
We're all good.
Hello.
Morning, everybody. And there's Neshi.
Hello.
I'm going to bring her up. There's a bit of a delay, apparently, as well. Everything's good. And I'm very loud on your speakers. I sound very strange.
Yeah.
And there's Neshi.
Hello.
I'm going to bring her up. There's a bit of a delay, apparently, as well. Everything's good. And I'm very loud on your speakers. I sound...
Oops. Can you hear me?
Yes. Hello, okay. Neshi. How are you?
Hello there. I thought I'd jump on just to let you know that we could hear you, but we couldn't see you.
It's very strange.
Well, it looked like the cover, the fancy little cover we use, to start the show. It looked like that was on, and you just needed to take it off. But
and there was no
screen, and you were fine, huh?
There was no messages or anything. I was getting a bit thinking, yeah, nobody loves me anymore. I think I'll just go and cry somewhere for a little while in a corner.
I didn't want you to do that. That's why I used the guest link to tell you that we see you. We're here. Don't go away.
We're here. Everything's fine and dandy now.
Oh, good.
Or
Well,
dandy and fine.
yeah. Well, I'm gonna go back into the live chat room, and
Okay.
turn your show back over to you. I just wanted to let you know that we were here with you.
Thank you, Neshi.
Okay.
I'll start rambling on again like I normally do.
Okay. Well, we enjoy your rambling. I'm going back to the chat room.
Okay. Bye, Neshi.
Bye.
Okay. So you're all here and I'm here. So all is good and all is fine. So as usual, technology baffles me. So join in with our conversation and my ramblings. So, as you may or may not know, last Saturday morning there was a bit of an incident with a car crash and me, and it was all very distressing. More so because of the aftermath for myself personally, because I'm in one piece and I'm breathing, so all is good essentially. But it's the aftermath that we're going to have a little bit of a discussion about, because we all know what happens. We've all had incidents and we've all had experiences where we've had to deal with those people called insurance companies. I would have some dramatic music on now, you know, of the horror films, but I haven't got any and I can't do that kind of thing anyway. So just imagining it in your own mind. So I've got a lot to sort out yet. I've got many phone calls to make and lots of discussions to have. And the immediate aftermath is really, really stressful. What you're going to do, how you're going to cope, all the rest of it, blah, blah, blah. As long as you get home safe, as long as you're in one piece, pretty much you can, after that, everything else is just an irritation. I've said this to many people over the years. As long as you're all right, as long as you're up around and walking, all things are still possible. So ultimately, a car, no matter how much you love it, no matter how much you take care of it, is metal, plastic, and glass and can always be replaced. So it's not really worth that much of a worry. But what is much of a worry for most of us, because these things are expensive, is what you're going to do now you haven't got a car because it's been destroyed. Mine was called Ariane Rod, by the way. That was her name. So we'll drop into that afterwards. But anyway, so your first thing you have to do is ring up the insurance company, and all they want to do is blame you. It doesn't have to be your fault. They're going to blame you anyway. We all go out and we buy insurance on houses and cars and life insurance. Every kind of insurance that you can get is out there. But I feel, from my own perspective and my own opinion, all insurance companies are in league with each other, and their one mission is to just keep your money and not pay out well and do the job that they're supposed to do, the job that you pay them for, really isn't what they're about. They're about getting your money and keeping it for their shareholders. And we all see the adverts and the commercials and the everything in the paper and on wherever they advertise. They all say, "Oh, come to us and we will, and come to us and we will do this or that and whatever else." It's all lies. They're not our friends. So we have to come to we have to accept the fact that no matter what we do, they don't really care. They're a business and their job is to make money for their shareholders, and that's it. They're not there to help us. So in that, when we stop expecting that they will do what they say they're going to, we can not get quite so distressed when they tell us that they're not going to help us and they're not going to pay out what they're supposed to and they're not going to do this and they're going to do their very, very best and utmost to weasel their way out of the contract that you've made with them. And they always do. They've got the money, they've got the power, they've got the lawyers. You know, we're basically on our own. So let's just accept that as a fact. We are on our own. They'll give us the smallest payment that they can, and then they'll just cast us to the wind. So fair enough. I'm going to accept that. And I'm not going to allow myself to get bent out of shape over it, because that's the danger point, especially for us who are empathic. We do healing work. We do all our spiritual side. This incident and what we've got to deal with afterwards is a big danger point where we can get twisted up inside because of all the stress and distress and chaos and madness. So let's just find a way through it that is it's not going to smooth the way, but it'll make it a little less bumpy. And my way, or one of the ways that just happened to come along this time, is this last weekend. I toddled off to the Druids Winter the Druid Order I'm part of. It was the Winter Gathering this weekend, so it was booked and planned months ago. So came just at the right point, and I took myself off there. Mum had one of Mum's friends. They loaned me a car, and they said to me, "Keep it as long as you need. Obviously, not forever, because I would have done, because that would have been a free car. That doesn't happen unless you're lucky enough to win the jackpot on the lottery and that kind of thing. But free cars don't happen, not very often anyway. Anyway, what was I saying? So, got in the car, off to Glastonbury, had a great and relaxing time. And we had talks and there was music and celebration, and it was fabulous. And it allowed me to readjust my head. It allowed me to clear out the angry stuff, the disappointed stuff, all the negative energy that we easily attract in these situations. It'll just allow me to release it and let it go. So for the most part, anyway, we all know what it's like. There's always a bit of residual for a little while. And I was thinking about it over the weekend. I was thinking about it on the way down to Glastonbury, on the way back from Glastonbury, all sorts of options and different ways of looking at the whole situation. The main one being, I'm up and about and I'm in one piece. That's what really matters. I am in one piece. So, how do we move forward with it all? I know they're not going to pay out anything like being able to get any kind of car, you know, because when it all happened, I just thought to myself, you know what, I'll just get any old piece of rubbish, run it into the ground, and then just get another bit of any old piece of rubbish that people don't look after and so on. What's the point in having a new anything, no matter how old it is, having anything nice or reliable? Just any old piece of rubbish would do. I got over that now. Everything's cool. But anyway, but these things happen, you know, we get these ideas and thoughts in our head. So, anyway, I really am rambling today. But anyway, back to the story. So, the biggest and best and greatest blessing is that I'm up and about, I'm in one piece, I'm breathing, I'm alive. What else do I really need? I can figure the rest out. So that is the biggest blessing. When anything happens, anything at all, don't worry about the people that you have to deal with. All you need to know is that you're in one piece, that you're alive, and all is good. So let's take the next step. There are many more blessings within the whole chaos and madness than we may even be aware of. Okay, number one, I'm alive. Number two, a friend of mum's offered me, they had an extra vehicle. They offered me that vehicle for as long as I need it to get myself sorted out. I don't have to get any old piece of rubbish. I've got breathing space. So there you go. I'm going to bring this comment up from Sherry because it's, oh, I pressed that button there. Yes, in one piece and can be at peace. Exactly. So I've got breathing space. I don't need to rush out and buy anything just to have a vehicle. I've got something. I'm mobile. I'm going to bring that up from Neshi. Trauma and shock can knock us off our balance. Exactly, our balance. It does throw us off balance completely. I'm going to come back to that bit as well because it's a really good point. So all this stuff is kind of like rebalancing ourselves, bringing ourselves back to the center, regrounding out of the swirly madness and chaos. So there's two blessings, main one and another one. So I'm mobile. The third blessing, I've got this retreat where I can just get out of the chaotic energy and the stressful energy of having to deal with people, and go off for it was basically 2 nights I was away. It's not a big deal. It's not a big event. It is a big event, but it's not a week-long kind of thing. You know, traveled down on the Friday, had the event on the Saturday, and traveled back home on the Sunday. So easy peasy. So I'm away. I've got more breathing space because my sister's taking care of mom. I've got space just to free up myself so that I can just allow all that. I mean, it was a wonderful, wonderful ceremony and event and everything. So it you know, it was gathering in so much positive energy that he's blasted away a lot of that negative stuff. So there's 3 blessings already. What else? Blessing number 4. I really like this car. It's not something I would ever have considered before. It's bigger than what I normally have. It's really nice. It's not new by any stretch of the imagination. It's 12 years old as it is, but that's irrelevant. What is it? It's a Land Rover Discovery. It's big. It's comfortable. I've got headroom, which I generally don't often have in cars. It's great. And you think to yourself, Land Rover, huge engines, fairly polluting, use a lot of fuel, very expensive. I was wrong about that as well. It's not got the biggest and most massive engine in it at all, and it did the journey easily, and it wasn't nearly half as heavy on fuel as I thought it would be. It was really good. So we're actually looking for one, because Mum's going to get in and out of it easier with a little bit of assistance, because the seats are up higher. She can just slot herself in a bit easier with a lot of assistance for me, but that's not the point. Getting out would be easier as well, because basically as I move her around, she's basically standing up, and she doesn't have to pull herself up and be pulled up like she did with the other car, the ordinary car. So that's another big blessing. Another one, my niece has lots of contacts and knows stuff about these things, which I don't. I don't know anything about cars. I know how to drive them. I don't know how they work. I don't know how to get a good deal. I don't know what it looks like a good deal or anything. It's just one of those things. I'm not a big car guy, although I might know more about cars than I think I do. It's weird. But even so, it's dealing with people that are trying to get as much money out of you as they can. Car dealers, we've all heard stories. But my niece knows people, knows how to get the best vehicle at the best price for the best deal. So that's another blessing. There's so many, and there's probably hundreds of blessings that I don't even know about, that won't even affect me. But somewhere along the line, that incident was there for a reason. I don't necessarily need to know that reason for it to still be there, but I'm going to look at it in that way, that it was necessary some way, somehow, and one way or another, I've been given a gift from it, and not just one, like I say. So even though I've still got a lot to deal with them, I really don't have to be distraught about it. So that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm actively doing, taking that negativity and turning it around and looking at it from the other side. I've told enough people the same thing. It's time for me to take my own advice and do it myself. And that's what I'm doing. So I'm going to bring that one up from Sherry. New vehicle will be a great blessing. Yes, it will. Yes, it will. This one, Neshi, making a conscious choice to pivot the negative to a positive. Absolutely. And that's one of the key aspects of this. I do it often enough for myself with other situations, issues, whatever they may be. This was a bigger test. It shook me for a little while and I got past it. Okay, I'll qualify that by saying I'm getting past it. All this, all the chaos and madness will eventually be in the past. So it's not, and I'm not going to allow it to colour everything in the future. And that is my decision. So, but there's still difficulties ahead with it all, and that's dealing with them, the not my friends people that we mentioned earlier. So how do we deal with that as well, or them? Well, like I said, I've come to the point where I'm not expecting anything. If I get a payment of any description, that's going to be a bonus and a blessing, but I'm not expecting anything. How do we argue with them, though? How do we stand up and put our point across? That's the more difficult bit, because we know they're sitting in front of a computer screen with basically a script on what to say, when to say it, what to say if this is said, and so on and so on. They've got training and training and training on how to deal with irate customers, because a lot of us get very irate and big and shouty. And with everything, especially after the weekend that I've just had, I've just remembering to use your gifts during a very stress event. Yes, exactly. Especially when communicating with people who are robot-like. Indeed, and that's what you basically are dealing with. You know, the faceless machine. So take a deep breath before you make that phone call, before you speak to all the people that you have to speak to get to the person that you need to be speaking to. Take a deep breath. Give yourself half an hour before you have to make the phone call. Do some meditation. Sit in the room with all your crystals in it and just bring yourself back to the center and breathe, because you can breathe, because you walked away. So I'm going to bring this up from Stephanie as well. The timing on this is impeccable, dealing with one of these kinds of issues with my ex. Yes, I don't know what the whole issue would be, but we'll all be sending you some good energy for that. But yes, breathe. just remember that no matter what happens within the phone call, that you're okay, and therefore all things are possible to you. So how do we stop ourselves stepping into anger mode? Because that's gonna, when you're having to make those conversations, they aren't listening to ours. They not really bothered about our side of the story. They're not really bothered on who's right or who's wrong. They just want to keep all their money. Accept that and be calm, because they haven't been trained to deal with calm people. They've been trained to deal with irate people. And it's really funny when you're very calm and softly spoken, and it does throw them off their game a little bit. So be calm. It might not do you any good in the long run. It might not get you the payout that you deserve, but it will be better for you within yourself to hold on to that calmness, to find, hold on to that still point where you're doing what you have to do, but you're doing it in the way that is most beneficial for you within yourself. You hold on to your own calmness, you hold on to your own energy. You're not giving it away in a negative way, with negative responses, negative actions from yourself. Let the machine do that for itself. This is not just be calm and breathe. That's the best thing you can do. Just be calm and breathe. Hold on to whatever stones and crystals that you need to as well, whether it be quartz, whether it be fluorite, whether it be, in this situation, there's lots that there's many stones and crystals that I could offer you, but I'm not going to. In this situation, you need to be with the one that you work with most of all, the one that you're most comfortable with. It doesn't matter in this kind of situation. The stone or crystal that you hold is always going to be the right one, because it knows you anyway, because you worked with it often enough. So any will do. Just have a little bit of a conversation with it to begin with, and just ask it to help hold your energy in a calm and peaceful space, so that it's not being dissipated by negative energy from outside. Let me just bring Sherry's comment up. Our spirit to bless the people I will be talking to. Brilliant. I mean, that's even better than what I was saying. I'm going to take that one and do it myself. Since they could be dealing with chaos and madness of their own lives. Yeah. This is a very good point that I hadn't considered myself, but it is true. When the people are not part of the machine that you're having to deal with, they are indeed people with their own stuff. So, it's good to remember that. Thank you for that, Sherry. I appreciate that one. It's something that sometimes even I forget. That's why probably why I'm not mean to telemarketers, we all get the phone calls, you know, they're doing a job and they're doing a job trying to support their own life and their own family. So you know, it's not right to be mean to them. So just another thing, isn't it, really? Telemarketers. It's another aspect of the whole business machine, I suppose. And yes, being compassionate does reaffirm your own power. And it doesn't just reaffirm it, it strengthens it. It does a lot of things. I'm trying to think of what's in my head, but I can't at the moment. So, yes, if we can't be compassionate, you know, in this spiritual world that we live in, there really is no hope for the world. So, let's all be compassionate. Anyway, where was I? Can anybody tell me where I was? Because I've lost my train of thought. But anyway, Sherry's right. Let's be compassionate. So, when we get to that point, we've let go of the initial shock and distress of it all. We let go of our anger. We let go of our worry. We're back to where we need to be for ourselves and the world, and we can move forward. And that's where we need to be. And it doesn't really matter ultimately if we get the payout that we need or deserve. It doesn't matter if we're going to get a replacement that is going to be better or worse than what we originally had. It doesn't matter, because we're back on course, we're back on track, we're centered, and we're grounded. And talking about grounding, there's another couple of things that we can do that can help us ground out the all that negative energy. One is hug a tree, because hugging trees is good anyway, and I'm a druid and I love trees. But joking apart, trees are rooted deep into the earth, and there is a way to approach it rather than just run up to a tree and give it a big hug. To do that kind of grounding work, you do need to prepare first, and that is approach the tree and ask its permission and explain why you're doing what you're doing. And just wait a moment, be still and listen. And if you feel often enough, you'll be given a little bit of a sign, whether it be a breath of wind or just a noise or whatever. You'll know. You know, if you feel that you are given permission to approach and to embrace the tree, then do so. And ask it to ground out that negative energy that builds and wells up in you with all this distress. Because the tree is rooted deep into the earth, so it's an obvious conduit to help you make get that grounding. The trees are just awesome beings anyway. They're just amazing, amazing beings. The other way is a little bit easier. It's basically lie on the grass, lie in the dirt, whether it be lay on your back or lay face down. Those are your choices. And again, then connect with the earth, connect with the mother, and ask for that assistance from her directly to ground out that negative energy. I can hear Mum shouting. I might have to just pop in and just double check on her a sec. So I just want to be certain, because it's not just me that has, when something happens to me, it doesn't just happen to me, it happens to her as well, indirectly, because being her carer, I've got to be here and about and here and available. So there is that as well. When something happens to us, we often don't think that it does also happens to an extended number of people, whether it be one, whether it be five, that's irrelevant. But it's not often, it doesn't just happen to us, because other people are invested in us. They care about us. They worry about us. So, there's more often than not, we're really not alone, and we do have some help and assistance. And Neshi, are you there? Hello. Anyway, do me a favour. I can hear her shouting. Do me a favour. Talk amongst yourself for 20 seconds and I'll be back. Sorry. Well, I'm not sorry. She's my mum. What am I going to do? All is good. All is fine. She dropped her glasses. She couldn't see the TV properly. Anyway, so extended number of people. Who all is in the room? Well, me. Mum's in her own room. Anyway, so calm, breathe. Anyway, so yes, remember there are other people and you're not on your own. So all is going to be fine and all is going to be good. Everything that happens now will ultimately be something that happened to you in the past. Everything that happens now, no matter how distressing, is something you can learn from, something you can grow from. A bit of a car crash. There's worse things that happen in the world, worse things that happen to other people. There's lots of darker things that can happen. So ultimately, this really isn't worth my giving up my energy or my principles for. So I'm not going to. Oh, the chat room. Okay, that makes sense. So So yeah. But like I say, if we're alive, we can get through it. And it will be a moment in the past. If we can release anger, pain, distress, shock, in whatever way, in whatever positive way we can, then we're going to be okay. So it's all fine. And like Sherry said, remember that the people on the other end of the phone really are people. They don't belong to the machine even if they have to work for it. We all have to work somewhere. We all have to make a living and do the best we can. So, yeah, I can see that. So that was something I hadn't thought about at the time. So, thank you, Sherry. So that's pretty much all of that covered. I know I've got a few more minutes yet, so I'm going to just ramble on about another part because it kind of connects in a different way. The insurance companies are businesses, and there are lots of other businesses out there, big multinational conglomerates that are hungry for our money, whether they're selling whatever it may be, they may be selling. I mean, especially at this time of year, I really get irritated at this time of year because regardless of, well, not regardless of, but there are many of us with many spiritual belief systems, all different and the same. Oh, yes, there's the darkness fostering the splendor. Yes, Philip Cargom, chief of the Druid order that I posted his show he does on a Monday, and there's yesterday's. I didn't catch all of it. I've got to go back and watch it again because my niece rang and she had to talk to me about what to look for and so on. So I've got to go back. But he does some wonderful meditations, and they're not very long. So if you get a chance, I've posted that on my page. I'm not sure how to do it anywhere else because it's technology. I'm not that confident with that. But anyway, yeah. So Sherry, tell us where it is. This time of year, we're coming up to Christmas. And we know what the Christmas celebrations are originally for, but business has co-opted the celebration and made it and changed it, and we've allowed it. Don't forget, we allow this to happen. This has become a time of excess in spending. Giving is a good thing. giving gifts is a good thing. You know, there's all the good stuff within the giving of a gift. But when it comes to the point where everything now is buy this, buy that, buy something else, and they make it seem that unless you're spending a hugely ridiculous amount of money, somehow there's something wrong with you, or you're failing, or you're not good enough. You know, that to me is where it becomes a problem, because there does seem to be a push towards that, in my opinion, that the advertising is designed to make us spend more than we can possibly afford, and to buy things that, well, just for the sake of it, really. And I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I mean, in my spiritual path, it's, you know, we have the solstice. There's what else is there? There's Christmas. There's Diwali. There's Hanukkah. So there's lots of spiritual paths all have major celebrations around this time of year. It's about the celebration. It's about the meaning behind the celebration. It's not about spending too much money that you then have to spend the next year paying off the credit cards. So, you know, we don't have to. We don't have to buy into that. Let's have a look. It might be, but it was a show that he did last night. He does a 20-minute sort of short thing on a Monday night, but he's got some meditations out. So yeah, go and have a look. Philip Cargon, he's all amazing. He's an amazing guy. Super smart, really nice bloke. Just go and check him out. Go and check out things that he's written. He's written many books. But yes, so, you know, you don't have to buy into the idea that you must overspend and buy things just for the sake of it, or, you know, what you do isn't good enough, because it really, really is. You know, if you do it with love and respect and from the heart, that's what it's about. That's what the whole journey of life is about, learning how to love and respect and give from the heart. It's not about buying a load of stuff that will just end up in a drawer. Anyway, that's just my opinion. Obviously, it's right, but it's just my opinion. So there we go. Yeah, there's a lot that we kind of can get caught up in. We just have to remember to stop and breathe, ground, and simply remember who we are and why we do what we do. Ah, there we go. Yes, look him up. That's probably where it'll be. But I didn't see it, but I'm going to go back and check it out later. So, any other questions? Type in a question. Let's see if I can answer it. Any other thoughts? that you may have to share on the whole idea. You know, everything that we do is all about just trying to be the best that we can, not just for ourselves, but for those around us, you know, family, friends. And it's not just for them either. It's for the whole world. And it's not just for the whole world of people, it's for the whole world of every living creature. And things go wrong, remembering that and still doing the best that we can. What do you think? I know there's a bit of a delay on comments coming through. I'm sure it comes through quicker on the phone. I don't generally look at it when I'm doing this because I can't really cope with both at the same time. I pressed the wrong button on there. But anyway, it's not working. Oh well, whatever. So, next year, January, it'll be January the something that the next show will be on. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. Let's see what Stephanie O'Criner says. He is grateful that you are working to improve the emotional environment of the people living on the planet Earth. Thank you. I thank you for that. All I can say is I do my best. Whether or not I'm always successful is a different matter entirely, but it doesn't stop me trying. And sometimes along the way, I'm going to have a wobble as well. And there's a lesson in there for me. I can have a wobble is the same as everybody else. I am human after all. What's Neshi saying? Thanks for sharing the experience and the tips work for you. Well, it's that's what we all do, though. You do it, Sherry does it, Stephanie's doing it. You know, we're all here to hold each other up, lift each other up, and support each other when something goes horribly wrong. And often, like Sherry did to me just a little while ago, offer a reminder that everybody else is trying the same in their own way. What did Sherry just say? Sarah and I spent on how we transform chaos and madness can really bless others along the way. Well, hopefully, it's what it's all about. We're all in this together, and as long as we all try to help, even if we can't help, maybe we know somebody who can. The message gets passed along one way or another. And help is always around there. We just have to be able to open our eyes to see it and our ears to hear it. Oh, and Stephanie, just so you know, it's all going to be okay. That's all I know. Don't ask for details. I only know that bit. So it is now approaching the 3 of the clock. So it's time for me to depart again. I'm not going to overrun this time because I've run out of words. I think I've said all I really know how to say. Thank you all for joining me. I hope you all have a peaceful and blessed day. I hope you all have a great celebration regardless of your spiritual path in the upcoming solstice and Christmas and Hanukkah and Diwali and all the ones that I don't even know about. And breathe. And if you get stuck, if you have a wobble, help is there. Sometimes you have to ask for it, because sometimes it's not just if we don't ask, then sometimes it's, people don't like to intrude. So ask if necessary, and don't be afraid to, because people are often better than we think they are sometimes. Yes. Sometimes our opinions can be mistaken. Oh, I've just done that. Was there another one? Oh, there's lots more comments. We love you, Merry Christmas. Thank you, Nelly. Blessings for the season celebrations. Safe travels and a beautiful night. Stephanie, thank you for sharing your path with us. Well, it's my pleasure. And thank you all for being here. Sorry, I missed all those comments. I don't know where they all came from. Anyway, so it's time for me to depart. May the goddess bless each and every one of you. Peace. See you all again soon. I'll let you know what I'm going to be talking about next week, because I haven't thought about it. Sorry, next month. Next year. I'll tell you when I know. See you all again soon. Bye, everybody.